I started this company. You know how much I sacrificed?
It's 1636, and you own a small ranch in the Netherlands living a mean and modest lifestyle.
Please, sir, I want some more.
Until one day, you hear something at the markets. A man is willing to pay top dollar for a fine tulip. You quickly head home and pluck these tulips from your ranch, then return back in the nick of time, selling these tulips for a few coins. Oh my goodness, you just made a week's worth of wages in one deal. This is called an asset, something that holds value that can be bought and sold on the market. You go home and start cultivating more tulips, making more and more deals, increasing your status in life at a rapid pace.
Main goal is to blow up and then act like I don't know nobody.
Your neighbors notice the rise in wealth, so they too enter the market and become tulip sellers. The more the amount of tulip farmers increase, so does the price also increase. All of this goes up and up and up until nobody can afford it anymore.
For the past 25 years, Canada has been in the grip of the world's biggest housing boom, a near unbroken run of price appreciation that's unparalleled among developed peers.
And the budget will balance itself.
Instantly, the market crashes and people are screwed for taking loans on their tulip businesses. They lose their homes, their status, everything. The pain is deep. Some made fortunes, some lost it all. Now, this is happening in Canada as we speak, except the high-class politicians and the elites are making all the money, while the average citizen is making less and less, barely able to afford their rent or mortgage payments.
Eviction filing rates are soaring. Princeton University's eviction lab says that in some cities, the average weekly filings are more than 50% higher than they were before the pandemic.
Something dark is going on here and none of it really makes any sense, but we're gonna break it all down right here. My name is Matt Pichet and I'm a self-made multimillionaire, and I've been documenting the markets to learn how to get ahead in life and make more money, and a lot more money, but without getting caught up in the next bubble. Now, the current housing crisis kind of sounds like the tulip bust if you haven't put that together yet, but this time it's a little different. Unless you're living under a rock, you've noticed how high inflation and interest rates have gotten, which are putting a lot of pressure on people. Now, this normally would cool the housing market specifically. See, real estate values are really susceptible to interest rates, and normally if the rates keep going up and up, the price goes down and down. That's how it's worked for an eternity. But that's not exactly what we're seeing this time.
It's not rocket science.
Even though rates are climbing, real estate has stagnated a little bit, but it's still holding its value, and at the time of making this video, it's starting to increase again, even with these crazy high interest rates. Now, the reason is we have some really powerful economic and socio-economic fundamentals at play, like the amount of immigration that has come into this country.
You know, immigration in Canada is not just something that we do, it's who we are.
Immigration is a wonderful thing. It makes us more diverse. It brings a lot of cultures to the country, and a lot of people do certain jobs that we at home, we normal Canadians, wouldn't really want to do.
Hey, Uber for Steve? Yes, this is Uber. Come on in. Alright, cool.
Even though we don't like to talk about that because it seems kind of taboo, but it is the truth. Economically speaking, immigration is a wonderful thing for this country and always has been. But with the amount of immigration we've had, which is record numbers, it is propping up the housing market. Now, the reason is the vast majority of these immigrants coming to Canada are coming with money. They're usually highly educated, they have skills, they have jobs acquired even before they get here, and they're coming here to buy a house.
Migration trend. Canada's investor visa program has seen more than 100,000 Chinese millionaire migrants move to Vancouver in the past 2 decades.
So at the exact time where sellers are not selling, because why would they? They've locked in a really good healthy interest rate. If they sell, they'll have to get a new interest rate at the top highs. So the vast majority of sellers that would normally sell their house and trade up to another sweet house, those sellers are saying, maybe not.
Refinancing when you first buy?
A lot of people do this. It's stinking thinking. You think, hey, it's too expensive for me to buy this house, but when rates go down, I'll be able to refinance it. Doesn't work that way. They also go up.
However, all these immigrants are coming here now and they need to buy a house now.
So I purchased this property in 2017, March 1st. That was the closing date where I got the keys.
We have low supply from sellers not selling, and we have increased demand from all of the immigrants coming here right now looking to buy a home. This is helping to prop up the housing market and keep prices stable when normally they should be falling rapidly.
I'm currently in a 1-bedroom and a den, and the den isn't that big, and that's where my baby sleeps. The bedroom isn't also that big. This is technically a basement, and I'm paying close to $2,000 for it.
The second thing that not a lot of people are talking about is the millennial generation. My generation, which is a giant, one of the biggest generations we've had in a long time, all coming of age at the exact same time, looking to buy homes. We're all about 30, 31, 32, 35 years old, right around the time when we normally settle down, have a kid, maybe have a couple of kids, and we need a home to live in. And the millennial generation specifically was told and taught by the boomer generation, you must own a home. You must own a piece of land with the white picket fence. You must have a yard for your dogs and kids to play with.
Are you alright? It was this damn ass rock. Ow, my ass! My left butt cheek is silly.
This is really important.
Little millennial.
So we grew up with this mentality that we need a detached home. It has to be a large yard. It has to be ours. We have to own a home. We can't rent. Renting is gross. No.
Why haven't you paid your rent, sir?
It's gone out of track.
The American dream. Get up off your ass and you bust your ass and you grind. You're gonna get where you wanna be, you're gonna achieve your dreams. But I think we can
all agree that that's not really the case.
The only true lasting American value that's left, buying things. Buying things. People spending money they don't have on things they don't need. Money they don't have on things they don't need. So they can max out their credit cards and spend the rest of their lives paying 18% interest on something that costs $12.50. And they didn't like it when they got it home anyway.
So again, keep on track. We have sellers not selling, so we have limited supply, lots of immigrants coming to buy properties, and the local population, the millennials, a giant generation, all coming of age and all wanting to buy homes pretty much at the exact same time now. One of the main reasons tulips became such a hot commodity in the Netherlands was because their soil was particularly suited to growing flowers amazingly. Now, tulips became an even better and better commodity when the supply was rising. The more supply that was coming online, in a sense, the more the price was. So increased supply, increase in price. It was, in a sense, a seller's market. Now, in Canadian real estate and the housing market, we're having the opposite problem. We have a very historically low supply and a very, very high historically demand.
It's strictly business.
Imagine yourself a seller when you're the only one for sale in the neighborhood. And you have all these buyers looking at your house and they're all kind of tossing in lowball offers because they think, based on the media and based on all the noise, that we're in an economic recession. It's pretty scary out there. Interest rates are high. Here, Mr. Seller, here's my lowball offer. Now, you as a seller are kind of chuckling to yourself because you might have had 4 or 5 offers this week. You know there's 10, 20, 30 people all looking at your house because you're the only one for sale.
In the marketplaces, the higher interest rates have pushed so many buyers to the sidelines, and there are a lot of people still hanging out there waiting.
Now, how is it possible that we can have a housing crash under these circumstances? That is exactly the point I'm trying to drive home. Now, you're probably thinking, well, we need to increase the supply, which is the root cause, by the way, of the entire Canadian housing crisis. However, builders are not building, and they haven't been building as much as they should have been for decades now. We've been underbuilding, but specifically right now, with how hard it is to get permits, with development charges being so high, and with the tax rates being so high, many builders are thinking, why would I build anything right now under these circumstances for me as an investor, as a business person, and as a builder?
Justin Trudeau is admitting that he broke the economy, but he's trying to blame it on 7 or 8 ministers that he fired.
We need to lower taxes. Now, I know if you're on the left side of the aisle, me saying that, no, you can't lower taxes, we're too capitalistic as it is. Truth is, we're not capitalistic enough. If you truly want to fix any market, but right now we're talking about the housing market, you need to incentivize people to come into the business to bring more supply online.
So they chose a pre-construction home purchased from Mattamy Homes in March 2022 at the peak of the housing frenzy. Set for completion this year, it's time to figure out financing, and they face a major hurdle.
This is the major problem to the entire housing crisis in Canada, and also why this time it's different, like the tulip crash, is not everybody needs tulips. You don't need tulips to survive. You can't sleep under a tulip. You can barely sleep on tulips. But everybody needs a home, which is why real estate investing is one of the best assets for sure, and why a lot of people say the majority of millionaires have done so through real estate investing. I don't care if there's a war going on across the world, if there's an economic recession at home, I don't care what's happening. Everybody needs a home to live in, and they need to sleep under a roof.
You eat every day.
Yes, sir.
Got a roof over your head.
Yes, sir.
Got clothes on your back.
Yes, sir.
Why you think that is?
Because of you.
Hell, I know it's because of me, but why do you think that is? It's my responsibility. A man is supposed to take care of his family. You live in my house, fill your belly with my food, put your behind on my bed because you're my son.
This right here, where you can catch a glimpse of the future of our food. And these guys have nothing to do with it.
Literally millions of insects are being raised here. Mealworms, crickets, grasshoppers. His insect bread contains 20% mealworm flour.
Truly at a turning point. We do not yet know the full extent and the systemic and structural changes which will happen.
Now, if you follow Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum, everything that's happening and playing out right now is kind of in line with their praised model of the Great Reset. The World Economic Forum wants people poorer because they're more obedient and desperate. They want to track Canadians with the CBDC currency to see exactly what you're spending your hard-earned money on.
This is where we are headed if we don't change course.
I'm concerned about all that, and I'm concerned about the lack of understanding that people have about implementation of things like a digital currency that is centralized, that's controlled by the government.
Right.
That scares the shit out of me.
The dark ages are coming. Everything that's happening right now is pretty dark, and there's no way of escaping it unless you follow the proven model of investing in real estate and how to do it properly. See, investing in real estate is a private market, and like I said, it's a must market. Everybody needs a home to live in. Now, I've been investing in real estate since 2012, and Canada was a great place to invest in. All the fundamentals were there. So while we're still investing in real estate heavily full on and always will, it doesn't necessarily mean we have to invest in Canada though. The rules aren't really set up for you to win here. There's no incentive for us as investors to bring more homes online to solve this housing crisis.
If the city reduces the development charges, we would have a better supply of housing, or we would have more affordable housing.
And with all the crazy tulip mania basically going on for real estate, everybody needing a home, fighting over a home, buying homes at record prices even when we have record high interest rates, of course I want to play in that sandbox because I provide the best homes that everybody wants to buy and pay top dollar for.
Why do you think the song Niggas in Paris is called Niggas in Paris? Because niggas was in Paris.
So with all that being said, we do have dark days coming. There is, I am sure, an economic recession right around the corner, but it doesn't necessarily mean we have to have a real estate correction. I feel we've already had the real estate recession last year when interest rates started rising and values did dip in a lot of areas, especially Ontario, about 15 to 20%. But we're already on the rebound because we know the Bank of Canada and America is going to be lowering their rates. Everybody knows it. So what do you honestly think is going to happen when the government does finally lower rates and when mortgages become more affordable? We still have the crazy same high demand. Prices are going to shoot through the roof even more in Canada. Now, as an investor, you're saying, Matt, that sounds all good. You're making an argument to buy real estate in Canada. I would love to buy real estate in Canada. However, it doesn't cash flow. It's too expensive for the rents to pay for all the costs.
Tell them to bring me my money.
We're sophisticated investors. We buy for quality and we buy for cash flow today. Appreciation is just the cherry on top that we get for being wicked investors. Now, if all of this sounds absolutely amazing, I invite you to join my private coaching group, the Insiders Club, which you can get all the links below in this video. If you really want to level up and you want coaching from me every single month, one-on-one, to ask me any question you want, you want to join the Insiders Club. So now that you know the dark days in our economy is right around the corner, what do you suggest we should do for policy changes or government changes? Let me know in the comments below, what do you think is finally gonna help the Canadian economy and the Canadian housing market? I'll see you in the next video.